Nation, what's up, baby?
Hello, Badger Nation. Welcome to the first episode of the Badger Breakdown. I'm your host for today, Miss Ray. Today, we are thrilled to be kicking off our series with our new superintendent, Dr. Nikki Moore. We're here to talk about goals, growth, visions, and of course, get to know the person behind the desk, Dr. Moore. First off, welcome to Merkle ISD. I know that we are incredibly excited to have you here. We are thrilled to be under your leadership. And so to get started, tell us about the person behind the desk and share with Merkle a little bit about yourself.
So, myself, I am originally an East Texas girl. I have spent 18 years in education, and 15 of that has been East. So, originally, I was a high school math teacher. I did that. I've been instructional coach. I've been an elementary principal, a junior high principal, and then what brought me west was I was the superintendent at Erie County. And then, oh, we're going to talk about that later. so, but yes, so that's me just education wise. My history is I'm a University of Houston graduate. My education post grad was all done in Lamar. And a little on a personal note, of course, we had put out my husband is a firefighter over at Dyess Air Force Base, but even more, my daughter is in the School of Education at Wyoming University. And so I'm excited for her also. And then that's me.
I know you've definitely hit the ground running. You have been all over the district. You've been in meetings, meeting with different admin teams, getting to know our personnel, learning all about Merkle. What are some things that you have just been really impressed by with our district that have just stood out to you?
So, probably the biggest thing I'm impressed with is how embracing all of the staff is. I did have to take a step back and learn some things that I didn't know before. Number one is y'all have had an interim for quite a while. And second, y'all haven't ever had a female superintendent. And so that's a first. So for me, just being on campus, my personality is really just in the trenches, involved, visible, being seen. And so I've tried to do some of that. And of course, I've been having meetings with admin and directors and all those things. But in between those meetings and even during those meetings, I've been able to walk the halls and visit. We had, I attended science night the other night. I've gone to a few games here and away. Just it's not even just the staff that's embracing, it's the community also. I have been approached at different things and talked to, and the level of excitement is it just increases my level of excitement. Like, I'm already excited to be here, but then knowing that everybody else is and excited also just makes it so much easier.
I think I can speak for all of Badger Nation when I say that hearing you say that the things that I feel like make up our community and make up our small school are already shining through and those are visible to you is incredibly exciting. So let's pivot for a little bit and talk about the fact that being a superintendent is a very busy, full-time, 24/7 job. But when you do get a chance to step out of the office and step away from some sort of district activity, what are things that you like to do to kind of recharge in your hobbies?
So, probably the newest thing, and I have taken this on after becoming a superintendent, is never before would I have thought of myself as this person, but I think my husband has pushed my comfort limits. We have become campers and we are state park enthusiasts and national park enthusiasts. And so I think I like it because it gives me back that quiet time and that chance to really just truly recharge. Like you said, this job does, it entails a lot of things. And we go through and we say, yes, it's a 24-hour job. And many times it is because even people don't understand, but many times when I'm at something, it is still work. There is still things that I am checking on or overseeing. I'm never at a game not monitoring a crowd or watching for things. And so the work is very demanding. And I know after my first year as a superintendent, I learned very quickly burnout could be real. And so it is important to recharge. And so we go to close ones, we go to far ones, but it's just that chance for us to kind of take a couple days and just be at peace with nature.
I love that. I think that's a great reminder for all of us to, remember when it's time to take a step back and recharge. You've led a really successful career up until this point. How do you plan to use those past experiences to help Merkle ISD navigate the ever changing world that we all know is education?
Oh, okay. So when you talk about hit the ground running, I have scheduled meetings and have already had them with the architects right away regarding bonds. So I do have bond experience. We are at my last district, we were about halfway through the bond and we'd already done design phases. We've already built a transportation and maintenance barn and in the middle of building an elementary. And so coming over here, I was really excited that I get to jump on that kind of at the beginning stages. So I met with Jacob Martin, the architect firm. They caught me up on all the things of where we were. And so I'm excited to bring that knowledge. And one of the things that I asked for and that I think it's important that that committee does is start doing site visits. So we're going to take a team and we're going to visit some other campuses and kind of see what maybe we can get in a middle school. And so there's that. And of course, I am a teacher at heart. And so for me, education is number one, academics is number one. And so I bring that. And so I think that we can see all the other things and they're great and we love all the extra stuff our kids do, but really kind of bringing it back in of like, hey, we really need to prioritize and remember what we're here for.
Okay, speaking of the bond, the future of Merkle ISD has lots of growth coming. In focusing on those goals, what are the primary wins that you would like to see happen for Merkle ISD in your first year here?
So really when we're talking about growth, they're kinda subjective wins for me. It's partnerships. And so I've already attended city council meetings. I have had meetings with city managers. I have visited with the Chamber of Commerce out of Abilene. We need to be aware of what's happening. And so for me, it's the AI stuff happening in Abilene and Sweetwater. It's Dias doubling in size. So I just feel like we need to be attentive of all those things. And so a win for me is partnerships, is making sure that we stay in those meetings, we stay having those connections, that we're in the loop of when stuff's happening. And growth is just going to happen. I mean, Texas is in a housing crisis anyway, and I know there's been talk about developments happening, but really what I want to do is a win for me is yes, making those partnerships, but on the outside, but on the inside, it's focusing on us. And it is probably the win that I won in this first year is building up morale, is really cultivating and growing and enhancing that Badger pride culture that we already have. And so I hope it comes a little naturally. I hope just being seen on campus, doing some different things, and bringing campuses together, bringing teachers together, that we're able to just, that excitement just kind of bleeds in and it sets us up for future endeavors.
So you kind of answered this next question that I was going to ask you, and that's awesome that you are, just it seems very busy in meeting all these people and doing all these things. It's just kind of wild to even imagine. So you've already figured out pretty quickly that Merkle is a place with very, very deep roots. So as we look toward the future, how do you plan to bring those fresh, innovative ideas, but also still honor our longstanding traditions?
So, as a superintendent, you come in and the goal is really to kind of watch and learn year one, right? But with the world moving as fast as it does, you don't have a year to do that. And so I am super eager to um, start full time because I've been here a little bit, but and really my goal is to figure out what those true traditions are. What are those sacred cows? What are those things that we just are like, hey, we don't budge from this? And it's through conversations with teachers, it's through conversations with community members. I'm going to put out a few surveys that I really want everybody to just give their honest feedback on. And I want people to understand that really providing feedback in those surveys is never a like a secret way to find out, but it's the only way for me to find out information that I don't ever want to come in. I think it's the At the middle school, there's the Badger in the front, in the floor, right? Okay. So we've had the conversation of even figuring out how to take that up during demo and somehow incorporating that in the new structure. Like there are, and it's little things like that, but that have a huge meaning and a huge impact. And so I definitely see the importance in holding on to those things. On the flip side, we are a fast moving world. And I think when I talked about the partnerships, the innovation is just really important that we stay in the loop of like what the job market is and what we're needing to prepare these kids for. And trying to, I visited with Rocky and then with Lacey about CTE stuff. And it's like, you know, what paths do we need to add? What paths do we maybe need to fade out? What partnerships with other companies do we need to make? It's an ever-changing thing, and education itself is ever-changing. And so I feel like you have to constantly be moving. And so I am definitely the type that's like, hey, I get the importance of the traditions and the things, and we want to hold true to those. And then also, we need to do what's best for our kids and give them all the possibilities that we can for their future too. So
Awesome. I know Badger Nation will be excited to know that the Badger on the floor is going to continue on. And finally, before we let you go, what is one thing that you would want every stakeholder, teacher, parent, student to know about you as you come into this role?
So I learned this in my last district because I didn't know I needed to tell them this. You are going to see me a lot. And sometimes that's a concern for people when I walk into classrooms. People just kind of get on guard and a little nervous, and that is not at all what it needs to be. It's never my entering a room or on a campus is never should never be an intimidating thing. It is truly, I want to get the best gauge of what is happening, how the students are interacting, what facilities look like, what resources you have. And so I want them to be prepared to see me a lot. My visibility is going to be really high. I'm sure if they realized it was hat day, and so they might have not recognized me, but I was working, I was working the car rider line the other day at the elementary when they were coming through, and it just seeing the kids we have and really getting a pulse on what the district is.
I love that. Dr. Moore, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I know I can speak for so many people in Badger Nation. We are excited to work alongside of you.
Thank you. I am excited also.
To everyone watching at home, thank you for tuning in to our first episode of the Badger Breakdown. Make sure you're following us on all of our social medias and stay tuned for more.